So what we're working on this morning, we got a 2016 Silverado 3500. It's got the Vinci, would be a Gen 4 6.0 gas. We have inoperative windshield washer. So, you know, you might not think that's a big deal, but you know, we had to make everything a big deal on modern vehicles. So that is controlled by the body control module. I haven't looked at the wiring diagram yet, but we'll go in and we'll do some tests on the body control module, see if we're getting our inputs. And then I don't see a relay for that in the underhood relay. Like I said, I didn't look at a wiring diagram. So I'm going to assume that the relay is probably, you know, the relay is probably solid state inside of the body control module. So if we have an input, then the next logical step would be to, well, we could come right out here and check it, but the only problem is that to get at the washer bottle to plug on it, you need to disassemble half the truck to get that bottle out of there, to get access to the plug-in on the washer motor. So if we don't have, you know, if we have our inputs, yet it's not working, then we'll go ahead and we'll have to look at the VCM pinout and see which one of those wires. There should be two of them. There's going to be a power and a ground because it's a motor, and we'll make sure if it's coming out of the VCM, we'll back probe it on whatever connector it is there, and then we'll come out here and we'll check it. You know, I started taking stuff apart so I could gain access to the washer pump, because, you know, I have a feeling, but it's a long way in there. You got to pull the inner fender, and, you know, to do it right without destroying shit and breaking it. So let's go in and we'll take a look at the data, the VCM windshield wiper data, and see what it tells us. All right, so let's turn our key on. I've already got it pulled up. Turn the lights off. We don't need to run the headlights. All right, so right now we're looking at windshield washer relay command and the windshield washer switch, and we're going to see what happens when we hit the washer and it goes to active. So what that tells us is that, yes, our switch is working. I'm internally laughing because I mean, this isn't complicated, but the way that you have to diagnose it is ridiculous, really, because now the next logical thing to do without tearing half the truck apart would be to drop the body control module out there and go in and figure out which pins we're looking for, and then back probe them and see if we're getting a command, you know, from the and I'm sure the ground is also, I mean, I'm not sure how it's controlled. Maybe it has a relay in it, so it's going to be, maybe they're just calling it a relay, who knows. It's probably could be a driver or transistor in there that, you know, is switching on and off and either providing a ground or power. I don't know. I need to look at the wiring diagram, but it may not. Yeah, it should show us that kind of detail. You know, you can't really look at the schematic of what's going on inside of a module, but a lot of times you can look at the wiring diagram and it'll show you that it's a return. You know, it's you know, controlled on the ground side or on the power side. So I think it's just ridiculous that, you know, I mean, this thing could be it could be a complete, the washers, for Christ's sake, could be just a standalone system, you know, on a fuse circuit. You hit that button there and it turns the washer pump on. But no, we have to have the body control module do it. So the scenario that we're looking at here is, what if there's something wrong with the body control module? So that would mean that I need to change that cheap plastic piece of crap with a circuit board inside of it and a bunch of crap on it. I would have to change that just because my washers don't work. And this is a work truck, so we would definitely I don't think he, I mean, you know, nobody wants to spend the money on that. So, and I can't think of any logical reason, just like I couldn't think of any logical reason for the body control module to separately control the license plate lights. I mean, why are we doing that? That's retarded. But anyway, so if we determine that we have a bad body control module, we're going to be doing some re-engineering here, and because everything else on the truck is working that goes through the body control module, except the rear license plate lights, but that's another story. But the rear license plate lights are working. I did get them working, and they're working fine. It's just that there is a break or a rub through or something in the harness going back there, and I traced it. I got to the up to where it goes behind the fuel tank, and decided that, you know, all right, well, we could run a new wire and be all hacky like that, or we can just rearrange some pins here on the bumper side of the connector, because it's the same connector. You know, we'll just move some pins over, and then we'll have powers and grounds for our license plate lights, and then we'll have a couple of codes in our body control module, and it doesn't seem to be affecting anything else. So, you know, whatever. We got license plate lights, not going to get a ticket, because they like to get you for that. You know, they need to generate revenue and for the king, and you know, they're looking for any excuse, and a license plate light is a good excuse to pull you over and violate your constitutional rights. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in and look at a wiring diagram, pinout for the body control module. We're going to figure out where the power and ground is and on which connector. We're going to back probe them. We're going to see if we have power coming out, you know, a signal coming out to turn on the washer pump. And then if we do, it's pretty safe to assume that we need a washer pump. So, and the reason this is kind of a pain in the butt is, like I said, you have to take quite a few things apart to get at the washer bottle and the washer pump. So you're going to have to, if you have to change the pump, you're going to have to physically pull the bottle out, and they have it in there. They have it attached very well, and I'm not really sure what the big deal is, you know, why they had to do that, but they decided they would do that because, you know, if you have to change a washer pump, then, you know, it's, instead of being a 15-minute job, you know, it's an hour job probably. So anyway, I'm going to go in and look at a wiring diagram. We're going to figure that out, and I'll be right back. So I'm probably making this look way more complicated than it is, but you know, nowadays, you know, just simply having an inoperative windshield washer pump it's a bigger deal than it was in the old days when you had the bottle hanging right there, and the washer pump, you know, it was easily accessible. But you know, now we've got to build a fortress around the washer bottle so that it, you know, takes you 15 minutes to even get at it, and you know, 20 volts later. So anyway, I almost have the bottle out. I'm going to pull it out, and then we're going to go ahead and check it again and see if we have power out here, and make sure that we have a ground too, because it's going to have a power and ground. And you know, probably just needs a washer pump, but you know, we could have an issue with the BCM. We could also have a wiring issue, probably not very likely, but you know, nothing's beyond the realm of possibility. So let me get that out of there, and then we'll test it. Okay, so we got the washer fluid bottle out. It holds about 47 gallons of washer fluid. I ended up popping one of the grommets out on the level sensor, and about half of that one on the floor. So I started to clean it up, and then I didn't care anymore because I want to test this. So I've got the key on. There's, oh shit, there's my test light right there. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get on there a little bit. Alright, let me go hit it. Let's see if we're getting the signal. I'll show you how I have it wired up here in a second. So yeah, that's what we got going on. So we need a washer pump. There was a couple of different ways I could have done this, but you know, we needed a washer pump. And of course, all I did was I took the connector, because our power and ground are in the connector, and ran it through my light to see if we're lighting the bulb up, and we're lighting the bulb up, so we're good. We're gonna put a made in gee, I wonder why that's not working. Anyway, we got a washer pump coming. We're gonna put it in, and there's my yeah, I threw my mop down, but yeah, there's the big mess I made. Of course, I had to pull the inner fender off to get a hidden bolt on the washer bottle, so we have it in there really nicely, so that just to change a well, you know, you might, well, I suppose you could pull the headlight out. That doesn't look like much of it. You have to pull a grill. I'm not sure how that comes out of there. Anyway, it's probably a lot of work no matter how you slice it. The washer pump is kind of straight down, goes straight down into it, so I don't know, I just couldn't see any way to get it out of there without screwing something up, so I did it the right way, and took all the time in the world. So we're going to replace that. That'll work. There's a pile of bolts there, there's a pile of bolts there, and we'll try to put all these bolts back in once we get that washer pump and bottle back in there, and then it'll be fixed. And we got some other things to do today, so we'll be working on those too. So we got our new pump, washer pump. We got it in. This one is made in Mexico, and that is absolutely great, whereas the original one was made somewhere else, you know, probably in somebody's backyard. But anyway, the product's made in Mexico, no problem with them a bit. Good quality control. I mean, hell, they build most of the engines for GM trucks, and they build some of the trucks. So, you know, good job, Mexico. Anyway, we're going to put this bottle back in and reassemble our truck. We've got a pile of bolts right there. I think I showed you those, and then we got a big pile of bolts here. Yeah, right there. We got another big pile of bolts just to get at that sumbitch. So I'm going to spare you the torture of watching me work, because, you know, there's probably going to be some cussing and stuff. I'll get it all put back together, and then we'll go ahead and make sure it works. So, moment of truth moment here. Let's see if all that effort made our washers work. Yep. Oh, look at that. I'll be darned. Okay, well, good. So, big pain in the ass getting at the washer pump on this truck. They have the truck built around the washer fluid bottle, but somehow or another we were able to go ahead and get that done. So this truck's out of here. Now we're really going to piss ourselves off and work on a Ford.